掌握体育财经大事，洞悉体育产业江湖，欢迎大家收看季胖超级碗超级访问啊！本期的话题是走向世界的中国体育产业，我们有幸的请到了美国的 William Sutton 教授。How are you, Sutton?
I'm very good, Johnny. Thank you.
Welcome to Beijing.
It was a great trip. I really enjoyed it.
我的第一个问题是沙腾教授，您对中国的这个印象和体育产业目前的发展怎么看？
China is the world's playground. It's the best place to invest right now. It's the market that everyone wants to be part of, and it's going to continue to grow in prominence globally.
Do you think the NFL make money the biggest? Why the NBA is smaller than NFL in USA?
Because the NFL has captured the imagination of the American public in a way, because it's a semi-violent sport, that there's a lot of people that know they could never do that sport. And so they watch and they admire those athletes to a higher degree. It's replaced baseball as the national pastime. It's the #1 viewer sport in the US. The NBA is really probably second right now, and that's probably where they're going to be. But the NBA will surpass the NFL globally because more people play basketball, understand basketball, and enjoy basketball around the world. And as I said to the students today, there's 300 million people playing basketball in China, which is equal to the US population. So the future of the NBA is much brighter outside of the US. The NBA will be the first truly global sport after football, soccer football.
Why the NFL in China is developing slowly, very slowly?
I don't think a lot of people can relate to the NFL outside the United States. I know there's a league in Japan of American football. There's probably a league in China of American football. It's a niche sport. It doesn't have the following or the interest to make it on a extended, intensive basis that you need to be successful. It can be a niche, which is like going to a concert, going to the circus. So if the NFL comes and plays a game in China, I think it will sell out. I think people will go see it. But they'd go see it like they're going to the circus. They're not going to go see it 12 times a year, I don't think. But they may. There's enough population in China probably to support it. But it just doesn't have the legs because there's not enough people playing the game. And as we talked about all day today with the students, it's how you market to the youth and how you capture the imagination of children and how you connect children to the game that dictates whether or not it's going to be successful in the long term. And that's why basketball has been successful and will continue to be successful.
Do you think the CBA development some suggestion for CBA's development?
I think the thing with the CBA is to be patient and to grow the game internally. So if the CBA is going to be successful, it's going to be done as almost like the EPL. You breed through academies. You train children to play. You make it the sport of preference. You encourage competition. You develop more and more talent. And when that talent rises to the top, the Chinese Basketball Association will be a global force. Just the way the MLS is in the United States. The MLS is successful in the United States, but doesn't have a lot of American players. It has players from different places. Once the MLS is successful with American players, then it will rise to prominence in the US the same way the CBA will when the primary players and the stars of the league are from China.
In USA, I think Yao Ming now is selected to be the president of CBA.
Okay.
What do you some suggestion to Yao Ming?
Yao Ming has to capitalize on his popularity, but he has to understand that's not enough. Being popular is not enough to be a leader, and he's got to lead, and he's got to develop leaders to work with him, It's not a one-man job. To grow the CBA in China, it's going to take a variety of leaders with a variety of talents. You need marketing talent. You need business intelligence talent. You need player development talent. You need a variety of talents, and Emlyon has to be the person to gather those talented people together and focus them, much the way David Stern did in the US, on the CBA and move it forward.
Would you like to select the most important term in sports industry? The first is football, soccer football, basketball, and other things. How do you rank them in China?
If I'm ranking them right now?
Yeah, right now and the future.
Okay.
In the focus on the marketing and the business.
Right now I'm going to say probably football, soccer is number one.
Number one.
Only because it's had a longer history and more people practicing.
Yeah.
And I'd rate basketball number two. In the long term, I'm going to rate basketball number one, because I think the resources and the investment are going to come along, and it's going to be a perfect storm. The talent is going to come, the interest is going to rise, the success is going to rise, and that's going to drive the CBA to be the most prominent sport in China.
Would you like to give me some suggestion of the education for the sports industry, like this EDP program?
First of all, I love the EDP. I think that teaching professionals and giving them new tools and helping them refocus their careers and find different ways of doing business than they had in the past is a very, very critical role. I think it's very important. You have people in executive roles, make them executives, make them better executives, give them the tools to be very successful. I think that you have to be contemporary. As I said to the class today, marketing is both an art and a science. I'm primarily a marketing artist, but I've had to learn to be a marketing scientist because it takes both to be successful. So the executives have to understand the role big data plays and how to use big data. And then you have to understand consumer behavior more so now than any other time, because there's a war going on for your consumer's interest. You know, there are so many entertainment and sports options, but there's only so much time. So who can keep my attention, and how do they keep it, and how do they continue to evolve? As you've heard me say today, I'm very, very big on the esports space. But I think the esports space is going to change a lot of the current traditional sports, because they're going to have to catch up to it. And the youth are enamored by certain things, and the traditional sports are going to have to understand they need to get back in the trenches. And so your executives are going to have to teach that lesson, that it's not just behind the desk. It's out on the field. It's creating programming, connecting youth with their sport.
We focus on the improve the talents of sport industry.
Yes.
Would you give me some question for winning sport?
What is your unique selling proposition? What makes winning sports so unique and different from the competition? That's number one. You have to understand that, and you have to communicate that. The second thing you need to do is, as I told the students, I use that word edu-sell. You need to teach the market what you're capable of and what it means to them. So the market needs to know what Vning Sports is all about and how it can help. So that's a big part of it. So no matter what you do, you have to do that, because they don't understand. They don't know until they come in contact with you. So you have to be a professor of your own business, teaching them. And the third thing is, and you heard me say this today too, it's how do you attract the best talent and retain the best talent and have that competitive edge, because your people are better than everyone else, and they do their job better than everyone else, and they satisfy the customer better than everyone else.
非常荣幸邀请到威廉·沙顿教授 对中国体育产业、中国体育产业人以及我们维宁体育给了很多有益的建议啊，相信他的建议和一些教导会对我们大有裨益啊。今天我们的季胖超级碗就到这里，谢谢大家，我们下期再见。